Hello, let's look at how we can tackle this drawing. The figure has two bits of lines at both ends and three arcs in the middle. So I would draw this as it appears, but before we start, let's have a think. Now some people will probably say, why not draw a line and then followed by three circles and then trim them? That is another way of doing it. Whichever way you think it's better for you, by all means do that, but bear in mind you have not a lot of time to finish the test, so the approach that you think you're most confident with, that gives you the right answer, and also you can do it the quickest, is the best one. So let's look at this one. First of all, if you look at the dimensions, we know both lines are 25 units long. All the arcs have radius of 25. So to be able to make sure we start and end those arcs at the right places, we can use the snap and grid settings to help us. How we do that is, first of all, move the mouse to the bottom left of the screen where the drawing aids are. There are few drawing aids that are always useful. For instance, the object snap command, the dynamic input. Now towards the left hand side we see the snap command. If you hover the mouse over that and right click, choose settings. Now the details pop up. What we want is change the snap X spacing to 25. That matches up with the length of the line and the arc radius. We type 25 and then we can click the Y spacing. It will then default itself to the same spacing for X. Okay, so we now set the snap setting for both X and Y. We have to switch it on for it to be active, so move the mouse and click on the snap on. Also click the grid on so we can see the dots. So now if we click OK and see what happens, the screen changes. Now the object has a base point of 0,0, which is the origin, and that corresponds to the end of the line, which is there. Yep, that point is 0,0. So what we then do is, this would be the start point of the drawing. So what I do is now I move it slightly up by clicking the wheel, holding it down and drag it up. So I'm kind of in the now middle of the screen. I will zoom in a bit. I just roll the mouse wheel and then I zoom in, so I can see a bit more. Now if I click on the line command and move the mouse towards the origin, we now see the mouse at 0,0. You can tell the coordinates from the bottom left of the screen, which is there. So I move the mouse back and the coordinates show 0,0. This is where we start to draw. Click and move the mouse towards the right, and you see the mouse jumps at every single 25 units because we have the snap setting of 25 on. Every move of the mouse is 25 units, so we can see it's in a multiple of 25. You say another 25, another 25. So if we move back to where we were, which is 25 away from the origin, click and then press either spacebar or enter, we finish the line. Okay. Now the line is there, although you can't really see it. You probably, because it's so close to the origin and it overlaps the x-axis, what we can do is we can zoom in a little bit, and you can see that line is there. Hover the mouse over it and you see that's the line. Then we use the arc command for the arc, which shows kind of around there. Now if you move the mouse up to the arc command and click the down arrow, it opens up all the arc options. There are few that are applicable, but you have to choose wisely. Now I would choose start, center and end because we know where they are. So click that one. Depending on where you start. Now if you start there as a start point, yeah, that's a start point, and then draw center and end, the arc will be at the lower half. So instead of making that as a start point, I jump 1 and 2 to the right, so that becomes the start point, and I click the mouse there, start point, move the mouse towards the left by 1 step, which means 25, and move the mouse again to the left by 1 step, so that's 25, and you can see the arc is already showing. Yeah, but we haven't quite finished the command, so we need to click to finish it. So click now, and we've got the half arc. What we then do is now to do the second arc, so click the arc command again, and this time round we want the arc to appear in the lower half, so now we click that as a start point, move towards the right by 1 step, that's 25, and move again to the right, and we have 25 as the radius, and you can see the arc is showing already. We have to click to finish this as well. Okay, now it's done. So the arc command again, move towards 1 to 2 steps, and that's the start point. Click there once, move again to the left, click again, and move again to the left, and that's the end point of the third arc. Click, and we're done. All we have to do is to draw a line from the end of the third arc, which is there. Yeah, click once and move towards the right by 1 step, and we know again that's 25 because every step movement of the mouse is 25. Click now, and either press enter or space bar. We've got the figure. Okay, you can always double check that if you have a look at this endpoint and check the coordinates over there at the bottom left. This endpoint should correspond somewhere quite close to an x value of 200 and y 0, so it's reasonably close, so we know that it should be accurate. Okay, if you're not entirely sure, the where problems that could happen are the joints, because we have to snap. The arc should be joining perfectly. You can zoom in and look very closely. They are joined.